imagine this. You get to the job that you just booked. Big gig. Maybe not so big a gig. You still booked the job. And you're getting set up and you realize you don't have the modifier that you thought you brought with you. It happens. It's happened to me. I was hired to do a gig once. I had like a 3-light setup I was gonna do, had my big softbox, I had my Octa that I was gonna use as my main, and all this other setup, and I got there, I got my big 4x6 setup as my fill, only to find that I had left my main Octa that I had built this whole setup around at home. And that stuff happens. That being said, we're going to talk about that kind of stuff today. I'm Chris with Profoto, and this is Geared Up. It's our weekly live broadcast where we talk about lighting setups, we talk about gear, we do breakdowns, we have fun, take questions, explore light together, and just try to have as much fun as possible and laugh a little bit because it's always a mess.
Yeah.
So today we dropped a new bundle with the Connect, our little puck remote, which I think is massively underutilized. I think it's a great little trigger, especially to have something in your bag, and the A2, so you can actually get them together in one box. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, how can we do something around this and tie this into real world scenarios, things that happen? And I was like, let's pretend that we're just taking this light out of the box for the first time, or we get to our gig and the worst case scenario happens. We either forgot a critical part of our modifier, say we forgot a speed ring, or we just forget the modifier altogether. What do we do? As professionals, we have to be able to think on the fly. We have to be able to make changes and adapt. That's why we're pros. That's what separates us from people just getting started. So, and that's what people hire us for. That's what they should pay us the big bucks for. And that's what you should be charging the big bucks, because you know how to overcome this stuff. And if you don't, today we're going to talk about an easy way to overcome some of those situations. So let's dive into 3 really easy lighting setups that you can use that look professional, polished, and that you can do with no modifier at all. So we're gonna have 3 looks. Just like I said, we're gonna do a hard light look, one of my favorite looks. I think you've probably seen me do this one before, but if you haven't, this is what we're doing. We're gonna do 2 soft light looks. One that's more of a traditional kind of forward-facing soft light that fills in really nicely, and then we're gonna do one that kind of is a silhouetted look, something really, really beautiful. Again, something a little more artsy that you can have some fun with. That being said, let's talk about the setup. I'm sure Caitlin's gonna cut to the wide right here, so let's do that. So on the first shot, we're gonna use a colored backdrop. You could use, if you get to your situation, you realize maybe there's a colored wall, or maybe there's just a white wall. You can do this to take some really cool images. We're going to be doing this direct. So this is a, you can see the A2 right here above my camera. This is going to be a butterfly light setup. So generally a butterfly light setup is going to be where the light's coming directly at your subject. You're going to get this nice shadow under the nose that looks like a butterfly, like this flying towards you. That's why it's called butterfly light. So that's how we have this setup here. We have the A2 direct flash onto Kate, blue background, really hard light, but it's got a lovely look to it. I think hard light is massively underutilized. I think people are afraid of it because they think it's a little scary because it's easy for shadows to become introduced into the shot itself. But if you control the shadows, it's quite nice. So second shot, we'll be using V-flats, but the reason we're using V-flats is just so we can mimic walls inside of a building or something like that. So we'll be using a V-flat setup for the other 2 softer light shots. So with that being said, let's take some photos.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Kate pretty close. We have some distance between us. So, I mean, I'm sure we can cut this. I don't know if you can actually see. Can you cut the side shot? I don't actually think you can see the distance. You can't really see the distance. So you can see the backdrop, the camera's like right here, right past my hand that you see. So we have probably 8 feet of separation, maybe 9 feet of separation between the camera and where Kate's gonna stand, and then probably another foot back there for the light. We're trying to get the light as far away from the scene as we can because we want that light to hit Kate and the background at close to the same time. What that's gonna allow for is, I can see you brushing your hair on the screen.
Listen, you know,
she's a pro. So, but what that's gonna allow for us to do, again, is to get that light to Kate and to the background at roughly the same time, and that's going to give us a nice, even exposure with one light. Because my camera settings, because we're always trying to overcome the lights inside the studio, I'm at f8, ISO 100, 125th of a second. That's the top speed of my Fuji GFX 100S. On the shutter before I go into high-speed sync, and I don't want to go into high-speed sync, so that's why I'm at 125th of a second. But we're at f8 here, so we're going to be pushing the power of the A2 pretty high. And that's just because, again, we're battling the studio lights, all the video lights that are on. You don't have to shoot at f8. You can go down to 5, 6, 4, 2, whatever the look it is that you're going for. With this, I will say that with this poppier look, I do like closing down a little bit. I think more stuff in focus makes sense with it. Whereas once you go to a softer light, a softer look with your f-stop also would blend well with that. So, but we're going to be at f8 for everything here today. So, ready to rock, Kate? So you already kind of see what the image is going to look like just from some of our previous testing, but it's a really nice light. So you, it's a pretty short background. It's a 4-foot piece of seamless. So again, you could do this in a pretty tight space, which is nice. So having the light super close to, or having her super close to the background will give us a nice small shadow. It'll be pretty tight. And then this light, I tried to get it, you know, just above my head, maybe 3 or 4 inches above my head, just so it's shooting down a little bit more and taking that shadow and dropping it below her a little bit. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. And it's lovely. It's a beautiful light. It's simple. It's got this, it gives the skin this crispness that you don't get from soft light. And again, one of the things that I think makes hard light so beautiful, but it's underutilized because people are generally afraid of the shadows. Let's snap a couple more.
Yeah.
So really lovely stuff. Tell me which way to go. 3, 2. Actually, take a tiny shimmy this way for me. There we go, perfect. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. And it's beautiful. It's a really nice light. Again, it's simple. It's got, again, that crispness, that pop to it. The background, the bright color background really adds to that as well, giving us a really striking image. So it's this butterfly light setup at a distance with one light is one of my favorite looks. I love it on a white background. I love it on, you know, a really bright piece of seamless or a wall or whatever else you might have. I just think it has a really fun look to it.
I kind of like the hard shadow in the background too.
And yeah, the hard shadow, yeah, exactly. The hard shadow kind of just adds a little bit of interest to it. And because again, we have some distance and that light's falling off slow, the shadow doesn't go stark black. So you're still getting some of that color poking through. Now, let's jump to a soft light look. So we're going to use this V flat here. Let's kind of bring it around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the light into the V flat. What that's going to allow is we're going to fill the V flat with light, and that's going to broadcast the light back onto Kate, and it's going to make the light nice and soft. Again, giving us the option to soften up that image if we need to, if we're in a situation where we need it. You can use this. You say you have a couple of A2s, and you know you brought your softbox with you, but you're like, man, the room is just it's too contrasty. You need to bring the room light up a little bit. You could bounce another light into the room and do a lot of the same stuff. So we're going to set this up here. I'm going to go higher with it. So if you shoot the light lower here, what's going to happen is the modifier is going to be like mid-body, and you're going to kind of get some uplight. So I recommend raising the light up. So we're going to kind of raise it there and shoot the light into the upper sections of the V-flat to give us that directionality coming from above, something that feels a little more natural. Ready to rock, Kate? So roughly there. Just got to make sure I have the blue in the background. Cool. And then I'm going to want to bring this around a little bit because I want that light to come forward for the most part. Come here, B-flat. And again, you can change the way that you're positioning your subject in the room. Get a little more coverage by backing up. And I'm going to flip over into auto mode on the Connect. The nice thing about this remote, especially with one light, is you can easily flip to auto, back to manual, and change stuff up. So here we go. See where we are. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful soft light, that simple. We didn't do much setup, literally just took the light, positioned position Kate, or you position your subject closer to the light, forward facing, maybe point their nose in the direction that that light is coming from. But because we have this big soft wall that we're using, or not soft wall, but because we have this big wall that we're using, the light is spreading out across it. It's feathering very nicely, but it's making this size of a light into this size of a modifier, softening up the image. We could do a couple of things if we wanted to. What are we at power-wise on this? We're at 9.5. I could back the light up a little bit and utilize a little bit more of the, you mind stand back in there real fast? And utilize a little bit more of the, take a tiny step this way. I know that stand is right there by your foot, but.
Too close?
Yeah, maybe just a hair too close. As soon as I pivoted my camera, the little knuckle of the thing came in. So here we go. 3, 2.
Hold on,
Oh.
this hair is...
It's fighting you.
Yeah. Me and the bangs are not having fun today. Okay.
3, 2, 1. And so it softened up a little bit. It's not gonna be by much because we didn't utilize that much more, but you can see that it opened up some here. So if I go, I start clicking buttons in the wrong place, and then things go a little bit haywire, and now stuff has popped up. So give me half a second while I undo.
It's messing up everything.
Messing up.
It's so hard for her.
This is why she's over here and I'm not. This is precisely why we do this. So you can see the light softened up a little bit. You can see the light on the background is a little brighter here. So, and that's just by backing up a little bit and utilizing more of the V-flat and making the light source even softer. The loud beep that you heard from the A2, was it just letting us know that, hey, I'm at the top of my power scale, which I would expect. We're taking a light, we have probably 3.5 foot. We probably have 3.5 foot of distance of the light getting to the V-flat. And remember, that light has to go from the V-flat back to Kate. So it's pushing out all of its power it can to get it there so that we can illuminate our subject. And that's again because I'm closed down to f8 to get rid of some of these video lights. So that's 2 looks. That's a hard light look and a really nice, incredibly beautiful soft light look with just 1 light. Now let's do something a little more artsy. Let's do kind of a fun silhouetted look. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna shoot the light into the background. And then we're gonna bring this V-flat here over. So again, you could do this in like the corner of a room or something, or if you have a reflector. So the idea here is to let this light hit the background and kind of fill this little area that she's gonna be in. And then hopefully we'll get some of the light from the background to hit the front of this V-flat and fill in, we're in focus now, and fill in her face. So we're not going like, it'll be a contrasty shot, but hopefully it won't be too contrasting. Hopefully we'll have actually some information in her face. So let's climb in here, Kate.
Yes, yes.
And I might have to play with the, that thing's searching for me. I might have to play with the light position, which I have a feeling is going to happen, but
And this
we'll
will
get
be
there.
looking into the...
Yeah, so let's have you take a half step back. I think this is roughly where I want you to go. Let's kind of get... I'm going to keep the shot relatively tight. Close your shoulder off just a little bit to me.
This one?
Yeah, maybe not quite that much. You can open up just a hair. There we go. And then nose back to me just a little bit. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Nailed it. So a real beautiful, really delicate shot where we're just utilizing reflections off of the background. So the light's hitting the background, kind of giving us this high key look. It's almost like we're shooting into like a window with shears drawn. So we're getting this super high key look, but that light's wrapping around because we're bouncing it on these V-flats real close by. Again, you could do the same thing with the corner of a room. and get that light kind of swinging all around the place. And then that's a really lovely shot. It's soft, it's gentle, it's got some mood and emotion to it, and we did it with one light and no modifiers other than the things that we're bouncing it off of. So you can really do a lot of amazing work with the most simplest of setups. I mean, the A2, I have another A2 right here. Like, look at this thing. This thing's the size of a soda can. It's nothing. So to have something like this in your bag next to, look at this kit right here. Here. These two little things right here. A little trigger that you can easily keep in your bag. This tiny little light. We've made 3 really, really beautiful images with nothing more than this and understanding how light works. With the blue shot there that Kate pulled up, we're just utilizing essentially the inverse square law. The further away the light is from your subject, the slower it falls off, the more it spreads evenly. And then we go to the next shot, the soft light shot. Man, what am I going to do with you?
I know.
I like roll into it, and she's not ready. So, but the soft light shot, so a real beautiful soft light shot. Giving some, we're shooting half body there and we're getting some nice coverage top to bottom. It's a really beautiful image. We were able to back the light up a little bit more on that second shot, and you can see that it fills in even more. You can see that it hits the background more, but we're still getting this beautiful gray fall off to the back. Nice even coverage. It's a great light setup. And then
I love me some soft light.
and then we get into the final shot that we took here. A beautiful soft image. Really stunning. It's got loads of contrast, maybe a little bit more contrast for you than we have over here, but we didn't lose any information in the skin tones. So we have a lot of latitude that if we want to edit it and make it even more moody, we can, but it's given like this beautiful wraparound effect. If you see like, Kate, put the light on your neck, your neck where you're looking away, kind of where your ponytail is.
What are you asking me right now?
So right here. So right here on her neck, you can see that we have this beautiful wrap of light, giving us some extra separation, which is really nice. Again, just a really beautiful light setup with nothing more than these two little bad boys right here, which I am
They're all so different.
stoked on.
I mean,
that is true. Yes,
very different
they're
looks.
not.
Look at that.
None of those looks are the same. They're very, so again, something ultra poppy with the blue, really hard light, real fun. We have something real soft and gentle with this shot right here shooting into the V-flats. And then with this shot here, we have something really dramatic, really beautiful, really soft, all incredibly professional. And you could easily get booked for looks like this over and over and over again. So, and that's really what it comes down to. Knowing your light, getting jobs, making it happen. Did we have any questions or anything, or?
no, everything's good.
Cool. Sweet. Perfect. So again, I'm not gonna beat the drum too much. The whole point of this was to show you that it doesn't take much more than a good couple of basic pieces of gear and some know-how, and you can really elevate your photography. You can take your lighting and make it look like something really special. All you have to do is think through what's going on and have fun playing. Make some mistakes. It's digital. You can hit erase, okay? I mean, some of us have some film cameras, but for the most part, we're all shooting digital. We have tons of latitude to play with this stuff. So don't be afraid to get in there, play around, make some mistakes, experiment on yourself, and then if something happens in the real world, you know how to pivot because you understand how light works. And that's what this show's all about. Any other questions?
No.
Cool. If you do have any questions, or if there's anything in particular that you would love to see from us here at Geared Up and Profoto, feel free to DM me. Caitlin will have you thrown my handle up there yet?
I will right now.
So Kate's gonna throw my handle up there, or I don't even remember what social thing was where.
Kind of step back just a little bit.
This stand here.
Yeah, just a little bit, just so that we
She has
are
me-
looking into your nostrils.
Oh, gotcha. She has me dancing around the place. So, but that is my that's my username on Instagram. That's actually my username on pretty much every social platform that I have. So, find me, hunt me down. Instagram is generally the best way to get in touch with me. and we can talk about stuff. If you have any questions about your lighting, if you have any questions about your gear, or if you're on the fence about what it is that you might need for your kit and you want to talk about it, come holler at your boy. That's what I'm here for. In the meantime, I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. Go take some cool pictures and have fun. Peace out, everybody.